All right, all right. Welcome back to Real Estate Lunchbox. I am your host, Leon Duncan. 20 years in the business. We're just doing an audio check right now. 20 years in the real estate business. This is what I do. Real Estate Lunchbox is designed to just be our lunchtime meetup hour where we just talk about real estate, things involved in real estate and culture, because Real Estate Lunchbox is where the culture meets real estate. Yes, that's it. Y'all know I've been working on that, right? But it's dope. It's dope. I haven't been popping on and jumping on last week. I took a couple of days off. Yesterday I was out. It's really for the benefit of the listeners, for people that are listening, for y'all that rock with me every freaking day, or every time I post, or anytime I live stream, you just jump on here. I truly appreciate you. Much love to you. To the haters, so what?
Oh no.
Keep on hating. Your boy ain't going nowhere. At the end of the day, I want to just provide to you clarity when it comes to real estate, how to merge it with the culture. There's a lot of shit going on out here. Excuse my language. I'm trying to stop, but sometimes I just got to pop off a few. But yo, the platform is just designed to just give you a better perspective on real estate in the culture, keep you out of these scams, keep you from getting scammed, keep you up to date on AI. We do it all as the Real Estate Lunchbox. That's how we do it through the channel. And don't trip, because we got a school community coming out, and it's going to teach you how to do your first real estate deal. Because I'm a believer right now in the market. There's a lot of shifting that's going on. Realtors are getting out the business. Agents are quitting. Brokers are closing. And there's that 20% that's making bread. And then there's the 80%. They want to make bread, but they can't make bread. And I'm a believer that everybody doesn't need to make bread the same way. A mentor told me, he said, you know what failing means? It means finding a individual lane. That's what it means to fail. And I was like, wow. So that means they've got the opportunity right now to find an individual lane, as long as they don't give up, because you don't technically become a failure until you actually stop trying. And I truly believe 20 years in real estate is one of the best ways, as an agent, as a wholesaler, as an investor. Let me tell you, investors make up probably about 80% of what I do, 85% of who I work with. First-time investors, mid-tier investors, people who've had their property for years, people who haven't. They're new to it. And then I've taught people how to find wholesale deals, because I truly believe wholesaling is the gateway drug to real estate. Yeah. To real estate. Yeah. And how do I believe that? Because once you know how to wholesale deal, which is finding it, assessing the value, locking it under contract, and then selling it to somebody who wants to buy. That is the essence of wholesaling. Simple process. And since 2015, I've been wholesaling, and I've helped people find deals in the wholesale space, or teach them what they need to know. So I said, dang, the economy is going to crap. People losing their houses. People are trying to find extra money. What the heck? And the cool thing about this, you don't have to do it in your state. So if you're like, Leon, my state, my city is crowded, is overrun, what we learn, we teach you how to do it in other states. And it's not crazy. It's not insane. I don't charge no crazy prices. This is my way of giving back to it, because this first spill, the way we first put this together, the way I constructed this, I want you to come in and learn what the business is. Then I want you to learn the YouTube game for media. Then I want you to go get monetized. And then I want you to find buyers, find sellers, and sell it and build. That's what I want right there.
Oh no.
And that's what Real Estate Lunchbox is about. And as we grow the community, it's a ton of things that I want to share with you. Creative financing, all those different things. See, the difference is, a lot of people can say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to wholesale real estate. Yeah, I do a bunch of wholesalings. Difference with me is, I've been rocking in this real estate boat for the last 20 years. Since 2015, which is roughly what, 11 years ago, I've been wholesaling. And before that, I was helping buyers and sellers. Doing my very first real estate deal was a creative real estate deal. My boss fired me. I was in school at the time. So my boss fires me from from, what was it? I was working at the airport as a sky cap and going to school at Georgia State. I was first at Morehouse and I transferred to State. And I was still like beating the drum. I knew I wanted to do something and I knew I had to make some money even before graduating. And I'm sitting at the table. God said, get your real estate license. So I went and I got my real estate license and I kind of left school a little bit here, a little bit there. I knew it wasn't a priority. Getting a degree, I'm cool. Yeah. That'll show people I can learn if I ever want a contract, all those different things. But it's not the priority. I made real estate the priority. And 20 years later, no regrets. No regrets in it. Had great times, bad times. And if I can show you how to avoid some of the bad times that I had working with the wrong type of people, I'm going to do that.
Oh, no.
So you get my experience, you get connection, you get exposure, you get a vet in the game, you get not just an agent, you get a broker, you get somebody that deals with private money, you get somebody that has dealt with creative financing, still dealing with that. And you get somebody that's wholesale. So I bring a different perspective to the game because I believe wholesale helped me. I was stuck at home for a year and I just wholesaled real estate right from my couch. And dang. When you learn the system, you learn the mechanics, and you learn how, man, I'm updating it, showing you how AI is now helping me find deals. That's what you get. That AI flow, you get all of that. That's the school community. It is not right there in the link right now, but it will be in the link when this video is reposted, which will be later today or possibly tomorrow. I don't know. See how the editing goes. But yeah, I'm here. Your boy's here, and I'm here to give you what you need, not just what you want.
Oh, no.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. This is the Real Estate Lunchbox lunchtime hangout. Let's get it rocking. I saw this video and I said automatically, I got to share this. Let's go.
Clayton County police are investigating a woman for allegedly impersonating a state housing employee.
A Metro Atlanta family tells Atlanta News First investigative reporter Anastasia Olmos they lost thousands of dollars thinking they were paying for a rental assistance program.
Anastasia joining us now, and the state's now warning renters that this is not legitimate.
That's right. The day after we reached out to the Department of Community Affairs, they issued a statewide alert for what they said are individuals posing as DCA staff in an attempt to scam applicants.
It's one little part of you that wants to believe or have a little bit of faith that everybody going to get their rental assistance. You know, it's not going to happen.
Latasha Johnson says she fell for a rent scam and she didn't do it alone.
Who all paid her money?
A friend, a godmother, 2 sons, a sister, an aunt.
She and at least 5 others paid a woman $500 each, thinking they were applying for rental assistance through the Georgia Department of Community Affairs, referred to as DCA.
Okay, so DCA, Georgia Department of Community Affairs, Rental Affairs. Okay, so let me give you some tips and some insight on this. Something to help you out. When you're dealing with these rental people that are renting to you, especially in the city of Atlanta, because a lot of this is really fraudulent in the city of Atlanta. Yeah, some other places have scams that are similar and watered down. People don't tend to get taken by those scams in those other places. It seems like Atlanta's a hub for doing it, and I think it's really because the people are desperate and they need a good place, a solid place to live. So this is probably the 3rd or 4th scam I've covered in the last 30 days, and I expect it to pick up as we go into the summer, as we go into the spring. People are broke. So anytime somebody tells you that you need to send some money via Cash App, you need to Venmo. Yeah, I know you've heard it and time again. You say, Leon, I heard it. I'm not going to do that. Trust me, somebody you know is going to do that or something very similar to it. And you may not know them directly. It may be through somebody else that knows. Because not everybody watches these news stories. And this, you would think this would go viral and people would be like, watch out for it. But it really doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. Now you say, Leon, how can I safeguard for it? I'm going to tell you, you probably want to find a good realtor that you know that's in the real estate space before you apply to any of these places and say, hey, I give you $25 to vet this place. And you think that's crazy. Why am I giving money to it? Because now as an agent on the back end, we're able to see what's listed in the multiple listing service. And there's a ton of rentals out there that are listed. And some of those rentals don't get listed there. They get listed in Zillow. But it's different when an agent reaches out to a landlord for you just to do an inquiry on a property and confirm it. If you give that agent the opportunity to vet it, they'll be able to vet it, check out property tax records to see if that's the same person, if that's the exact person, which takes me to the next portion. I'm giving you all types of game today, right? You need to go ahead and take the address and look in the tax records whenever you get one of these properties and you're trying to live there and see who the owner is. Now, Invitation Homes, one of the leading rental companies in Atlanta, Invitation Homes, it won't say Invitation Homes on the information that you see in the tax records, but it will give you an LLC, and you should be able to go to Georgia State and validate that LLC and who it is and the main address tied to that LLC, whether it's the mailing address or the office address for it. So I'm of the effect and of the opinion, you cannot let the need to get a rental skew these steps and your due diligence. And if you can control your emotions and focus more on doing the due diligence steps, you won't get scammed.
Reason why I did it, because I had a son that was facing eviction and they had 7 days to get out.
Latasha said she heard about Kia Williams, who was helping people sign up for a program that would not only back pay rent, but also provide 3 months future rent.
She was very convincing. She stated that they will pay 3 months because this is something that was being offered right now, and that she charged a fee of $500.
In January, Latasha and her son filled out this application with the DCA.
Okay, so tip, legit, one thing you only should be paying is your rental application. That's the first thing, and the only thing you truly should be paying is your rental application. It's $65, $85, I get that. But ask them what place you are in line. Am I number 5 or number 10? How many people or applications are being reviewed before me? That would at least give you an idea of what's going on. And if they say, yeah, you got 3 people in front of you, what's the odds of them actually getting it? Are they all going through underwriting for the same property, desktop underwriting? They say yes, then I would back away, because those are 3 opportunities that they have to go with those 3 people. Why do they need you? If they say it's one person, I would say call me when that one person is done. That's it. You want to be the person that they're looking at actively to do it. And it should be, we review this app, we give you a yes or no. We review that app, we give you a yes or no. And if it's no for this person, and then it's cool, you don't need to tell me their private info, but I do need to know where I'm at in that placement. And then you can make a better decision if you want to rock for it or not.
His logo and address, and sent the money to Kia through Apple Pay.
I believed her because they stayed in their house for like an additional 2 months. They were not put out. So in my mind, it's for real.
But court records tell a different story. A Fulton County judge had already signed her son's family's eviction order nearly 3 weeks before they sent any money to Kia. And their landlord, Invitation Homes, tells Atlanta News First investigates that they never received housing assistance for the family. They had only allowed them to stay until an agreed-upon move-out date. Meanwhile, Latasha says family members continued to make application fee payments to join the program through Apple Pay, Cash App, and Zelle. Then Latasha said they noticed their payments going to different phone numbers and names.
I had
Okay, so different phone numbers and names. When you're doing a government program, Fulton County government, I'm going to speak more on Fulton County because I've only dealt with Fulton and I've dealt with Cobb. I think Fulton and Henry. Fulton and Cobb, I think, and Henry. But either way, I've dealt with probably 2 or 3 of these local municipalities in the Georgia metro area. Each of them have a main office, and if somebody's going to tell you is going to give you placement with this main office and placement in this in here where you won't have to do it before you give them any information, call the main office, validate that they are who they say they are. Why? Because it's happening all the time. I mean, I saw, this is a little bit off, but a toll scam that came to my house with the letter, and it looked legit, that, hey, you're behind on a toll that you ran in. The text message lined up. So I'm like, somebody's targeting me. None of it. None of it was real. None of it was real. So you got to do that due diligence. I, in essence, had to call, and I'm like, the math isn't mathing, you know?
Anya Moody, Akia Williams, Akia Calhoun.
She reached out to DCA support, and they told her,
unfortunately, we do not have an employee by the name of Kia Calhoun.
DCA tells
And if she would have done that before, she wouldn't have got took, and neither would her people. None of her people would have got took.
Atlanta News First investigates. The form that Latasha filled out is from a 2023 program. We found the main number she used is a prepaid phone registered under another name. But by March, she says several family and friends were behind on rent, thinking the program was paying, and at least one of them was evicted.
I don't understand how she can even rest at night to know that these people are already out for eviction and you're taking their money and they end up being placed on the street anyway.
When Latasha questioned Kia, she sent this screenshot we confirmed is from a separate Atlanta rent program through Frontline Housing. The nonprofit's executive director said the email is from 2024, and she's heard of people using their emails to, quote, take advantage of those in need.
I just feel like I go to work every day, so you get up, get a job, and go to work.
We tried calling Kia on both the numbers she used as well as the other name registered to the phone number used, but we did not get a response.
Did anyone receive the help that they thought they would?
Absolutely not. This lady has really affected people.
All right, Latasha filed a police report, and Clayton County Police are still investigating. The Department of Community Affairs also told us that their rental assistance waiting list is currently closed. So here's what you need to know. DCA never charges fees and does not accept Cash App, Apple Pay, or any sort of cash. Official emails only when they are communicating. So you want to look for that dca.ga.gov or even a zendesk.com. That's a server that they use. Now, if someone guarantees approval or asks for payment, stop contact and report it to DCA immediately. We have links and numbers to report any of these concerns. Those are on our website right now, atlantanewsfirst.com.
Okay, and this is a scam, and a lot of people are getting taken by it. People that are falling for it, people that don't do due diligence. So the key to actually navigating this season is due diligence. Don't take anything at its word. Do the research on it. I know I shouldn't have to say that, and some people are going to listen and say, damn, Leon, they supposed to know that. But I'm going to tell you, when your emotions are so high and you got to make a change, you got to make a move, you're in, some people, this world is ran on fear so much, man. Some people are afraid. They're like, man, I got to get my leases up where I'm at right now. I can't afford what they want. I got to make that move. You're not thinking about doing due diligence, and that is exactly what you should be thinking about doing, because you may say, Leon, it's going to take me a long time to find a place that I want if I research all of these places because I got to put in all these apps. I'm going to tell you, it will save you a world of hurt, okay? It will save you a world of hurt. Keep you from going to places you shouldn't go to. You won't be messed up. Ugh. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And I just want you to be blessed, yo. Because Atlanta, the market in Atlanta is changing. Atlanta is a buyer's market, okay? And I'm going to give you some insight right now. We've got a report that just dropped by, it's a consumer affairs report. And it was released, from Zillow. From Zillow. April the 2nd. And it names Atlanta number 4 for first-time home buyers. So first-time home buyers are number 4. This is the number 4th city in the whole country for first-time home buyers. Number 1, y'all may be wondering, Jacksonville. Why is Jacksonville number 1? Jacksonville is one of those markets, which is dangerous. I'm sorry, y'all. I'd be ducking in Jacksonville. No, but it's a leveled market. You don't get a bunch of appreciation. You don't get a ton of depreciation. I would call it a blue collar. Everything's pretty there. You do have higher end properties. I'm not saying Jacksonville doesn't have that, but it's considered a safe spot. It's not booming like Atlanta. Everybody's trying to get to it. I don't even think Jacksonville has a huge influx of people that are coming to the state. Let me ask this real quick. Check this out. How many people move to Jacksonville, Florida a year?
Jacksonville remains one of the fastest growing regions in the country, consistently ranking as a top destination for inbound moves. Depending on whether you look at the city proper or the broader metropolitan area, the annual influx of new residents varies. Annual population growth, net increase. Based on data for 2025 and 2026, Jacksonville adds roughly 14,000 to 18,000 new residents per year to its city population.
So that's way different. Georgia, we're closer to in Atlanta 65,000 per a year. So Jacksonville has a lot of room to expand and then consider some of the benefits. But Atlanta took number 4, which I thought was pretty dope. Shout out to Atlanta. Everybody, we keep telling y'all not to move here, but y'all persist. Number 4 with 45.2% affordable listings. And Houston, shout out to Houston. The Sun Belt is trailing Atlanta as number 5. Birmingham, number 2. San Antonio, number 3. Then we into Atlanta. So that's affordability ranking. It doesn't seem like that in Atlanta, like things are affordable. But take this into mind. I want you to consider this, that if you go to some of these other metropolitans prior to moving, well, if you came to Atlanta probably pre-2020 or right at COVID after it, 2020, 2021, 2022, even up to 2023, you were going to be paying somewhere about $425 for the average home in the metropolitan. It's been some changes. Atlanta is right now, I think, roughly about 380,000 in the major metropolitan average, which is a drop. And
all right, Atlanta's housing market may actually be getting a little easier to navigate. A new report shows our city has one of the busiest housing markets in the entire country.
Well, according to RE/MAX, Atlanta ranked 4th nationally for closed transactions, showing continued buyer demand. The city also ranked 3rd for active inventory, with a significant 11.5% increase compared to last year. It could signal a shift toward a more balanced market.
So
meanwhile,
don't median home price, that's right there. We factor in the high, we factor in the low. That's median. They say middle. Some people say average. Median and average different, but median home price 385. And they said an increase in inventory on a market. You got to keep in mind that this season right now, and this was recently done, probably about 2 weeks ago. This season right now in the spring is the most active time for realtors to actually sell their homes. For investors who started projects, if you're an investor, you're trying to get into the investor space, and you started your project. When we start projects, or when we would start projects, and I haven't started any projects within the last 1.5 to 2 years, I know what was coming after I had some headaches, and I said, nah, we not gonna do this. And some people are doing very good with it, but it just wasn't for me to do. Find your individual, find a individual lane. Told you, your individual lane. That's not mine. But investors that started projects, they typically started around September, November, so it can roll out January, February onto the market. That's why we see an increase right now of inventory. Combine that with people that did not sell, were not able to sell in the previous cycle, meaning up until September, November, pulled off the market, came back on. I think that's happened with me and one of my investors. Probably this is probably our third time putting the property on the market. Now, granted, the first time he got a full price offer, he said no. So you get what you get, and you can't pitch a fit.
Oh no!
So to help you understand what we mean by median home price and things like that taking place, this is what's happening. We just got an influx of inventory, and it just came from canceled listings and new people jumping in and all those great things. And secret, some of these Invitation Home partners who bought a bunch of property, some of them are selling. So if they're selling, we can see that increase of 11%, kicking butt and taking names. So go ahead, let me let this.
The median home sale price in Atlanta saw a 2% decline year over year, now standing at $385,000.
Oh, $385K. Dope. I think that's dope. I love the fact that the market has already adjusted to meet where it needs to be. Why do we even care? Because Atlanta is still a beast, and and people follow us. This is where it is, and it's not going to change. Yeah, So, shoot. Man, if you're watching, please don't hesitate. Like, subscribe, follow. We rocking. We rocking today. We rocking. I got a couple stories because I realize when I do this, sometimes I do a lot of reaction videos. I'm going to pull some of those reaction videos off of this so you guys are able to focus and I'm able to give you some more teachable things and tackle specific answers to questions that you have in the real estate space, and more importantly, real estate with AI. More importantly, how can you make money even in a down market and not be an agent, not get your license? All those different things are very important in this space. Let's
developing with the story, Taysha. Thank you. Right now, new at 6, a year and a half after the city passed the so-called blight tax, a new audit reveals the city hasn't collected a single cent. The legislation was supposed to be a way to combat blight in the city of Atlanta. Channel 2's Michael Doudna joining us live now in the Old Fourth Ward there, where, Michael, neighbors say the frustration is growing because they're seeing, or rather not seeing, any progress here.
Yeah, George, this home I'm sitting here in Old Fourth Ward has sat in disrepair for years. You can see what I'm talking about with the rotted wood, the plywood on the floor, well, the roof looking like it's about to collapse on me. And, well, folks around here hope that this blight tax would...
Okay, let me slow this down real quick. Blight. So when a house sits and nobody moves in, everybody ignores it, the owner doesn't want anything to do with it, or they don't know what to do. They may owe a balance that's over. They may not be able to take care of the repairs. We call that distress financially or distress physically. This is the best type of real estate deal to get if you're a wholesaler and you're trying to find a deal, okay? And this is a shout out to you guys, investors, all of that. I know somebody saw this and they probably said, oh, shoot, Blake, I still think that. Let me just go. Because it can be demoed. It can be rehabbed, just depending on the extent of the damage. I mean, some houses, they need to be demoed. And that's just a fact. That's just the way it is. But blight has always been an issue in the city of Atlanta. I know it's like that in Baltimore and some places and some of the other places like New York, dealing with that. So I've encountered this multiple times. We'll go to buy a house, or we want to do a deal and something's wrong with the title, or something's wrong. We can't, something's wrong with the title. Most of the time is the title situation. Something's up with the title. That it won't allow us to transfer it. And the house has just been sitting down there. Now, if you have issues where you have a break-in title and you can't close the deal, then it's just going to sit. And the longer it sits, it becomes an issue. It just becomes blight. And the city has been known for demoing those properties, but I don't think they want to spend the $10,000, $12,000, probably a little bit more now, to actually demo the property and put that on the house or put that on the land, on the property title, and make it where whoever buys it, when you transfer it, they still got to get paid. They got their way of doing it. I just don't understand why they haven't collected any money. That's the thing I don't get, because these properties just sit down there and you have investors that want to buy it. Shout out to investors that buy these broken down, raggedy behind houses. Okay. They want to buy them because the money's in the raggedy behind houses, right? But they can't get their hands on it. Breaking the title, or it's sitting down blight, and they want to charge us to demo it. That's cool. I was cool with the demo charge. But when it's sitting down like this and the title's broken and you can't transfer it, it's multiple reasons why it's sitting down like that. Instead of finding a way to actually deal with that situation from that standpoint, they put the tax on. They put the tax on. And it makes it harder to move the property. And so when they rolled this out last year, I was wondering, I said, oh, this is good. This will make people sell. Guess what? No, it's still sitting down there.
Hold owners accountable, but so far, nothing really has changed, and the city hasn't collected anything. So what is the true cost of blight?
The arson, you see crime, you see vandalism.
With a home left abandoned and falling further into disrepair.
It's really been a dark spot on our neighborhood.
The 2024 blight tax was billed as a solution, a carrot and stick approach. Owners who fixed their properties could get a tax break, while those who didn't faced a tax bill 25 times higher.
We use every tool at our disposal to root out bad.
25 times higher. Ooh, my God. That's why. That's why they letting the money just stack right there. Previous administrations. Now, I think Andre Dickinson does a good job. He's trying. Listen, it is what it is. But these type of deals are the deals we look for in wholesale and real estate. Yeah, my first real estate deal. Yeah. So when we look for these types of deals, because they're in physical distress, they allow us to now get it in that physical distress and sell it and make some money. And if you can make an extra couple $1,000s and you do that once a quarter, you do that once every 6 months, 5, 10, that's some extra money going into your house. This is how you begin to now beat out this inflation market, this inflationary market, this crazy stuff that's going on where you can't seem to keep up. Your groceries are high, your gas is high. That's why we put the school community together, because I want you to be able to take advantage of this and use AI to do it. Don't be scared of AI. AI can be your best friend. AI sends me deals I would say every freaking day, but at least once a week, gathered from all these sources and from a source I established. But yeah, this is how we find these deals. So I applaud him. And I think he should make it easier. They should find some incentive for these guys to be able to sell it if they're selling it to someone that would actually fix it and flip it and put it back out there. And this is how we begin to take care of the issues when it comes to low income inventory on the market. We take these houses, we flip them and find somebody who wants to buy them from us just like that. And they turn around and they buy it, and that person fixes it. They either rent it or they sell it, but it begins to slowly solve the issue of unaffordable housing or lack of inventory. You do more of this, you push more inventory into the market, which now you begin to lower prices. Lottie-dottie, everybody, right? Everybody should be happy with this.
Actors holding our neighborhoods back.
But so far, that tool remains unused, even as the city has identified potential blighted houses like this one. An audit recently found that there's no one assigned to actually lead the program, help set things like procedures, and actually enforce the rules.
At its heart, discouraging.
Of course, I wish we would have moved faster.
Councilman Matt Westmoreland and Byron Amos say they hope to see progress by now, especially as cities like Forest Park that implemented their own blight tax the same year have already designated at least 90 properties as blighted.
We do need to get these properties in line, but we need everyone on board to help us.
There is success in our future if we can just get moving.
But for those that live near blighted properties, they want to see real change, and for the laws already on the books to be enforced.
I hope they can collect that tax, get these properties fixed up, and I hope we can welcome new neighbors.
Now, we did reach out to the mayor's office about when they're going to have somebody in that lead role and some of the other things brought up in the audit, but did not hear back. We're live in Atlanta. I'm Michael Doudna, Channel 2 Action News.
I would be curious to find out the address for that property, who the owner is, because there's two sides to this. You're going to tax every person who has a blighted property. Sometimes the reason, like I told you earlier, they can't sell it is because there's an issue with the title. That's one reason. Now, it should be, hey, we'll demo the lot. There should be something else put in place. We do not have to have a home shortage issue when it comes to this. Investors, I'm not talking about the big corporate investors. I'm talking about the mom and pops. Whether you're in Atlanta, whether you're in Baltimore, my family has bought property in Baltimore. That's how I got into actually doing this, own blocks. Still, this is how you start to solve those issues, because you got to realize the big guys, they'll come in, and I've sold and I've bought to the big guy, bought from the big guys. I've sold from them, bought from all those different things. Very rarely will they get involved in something like this, like an Invitation Homes, a Zillow, one of those. They very rarely will they get into buying something like this. So I truly believe that it is the small mom and pops, whether you're in Austin, Texas, and you're seeing it, whether you're in Dallas and you're seeing it, whether you're in San Francisco and you're seeing it, New York and you're seeing it. This is the season, I personally believe, for the mom and pops, people like you, people like me, people who haven't done their first deal, to get in there and do the deal so that we can now slowly begin to fix the affordability issue one house at a time. And now the money's moving. You're making money. The investors buying it, flipping it, making money. And by the way, if you're looking for funding for your next real estate deal, just check out the link below. With Legacy Peak Capital, we got you funded. We can even go up to 100% funding in Georgia. Yeah. But we do business all 50 states. But that would allow us now to heal the market and to begin to recover. Because I truly believe it's not going to be the state. It's not going to be the government. It's not going to be the local government. It's not going to be the huge. Trump can't do it. It's not going to be Trump. It's not going to be Pulte Homes or D.R. Horton Homes. It's not going to be Invitation Homes. It's going to be people like you and people like me who want to make some money, who enjoy making some cash, who want to at least take some time because they're working 9 to 5 doing what they do, and they can get one deal done and make a couple $1,000s. It's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. And I'm talking about selling what people want to sell. I'm not talking about just, we're not talking just about just doing it, okay? Selling what people want to buy. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. All right. So, let's run this back. Let's run this back, bro. I don't want to ignore this because this is a big thing right here. All right. So I guess this program is going to be today a lot about Atlanta. But if you're watching from other places, I don't care if you're in Timbuktu. I don't even know where Timbuktu is. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't. I should probably, right? I should know where Timbuktu is. But I don't even know. So check this out. If you are in any other marketplace and you are 100% questioning, is Atlanta a place I'm supposed to invest in? Atlanta has had the history of having investors invest in the infrastructure of the city. Very big, very big. To the point that some of the metropolitans are really benefiting a spillover from Atlanta. But this is the $5 billion investment that's coming to the Gulch. Now, I'm going to let you watch it.
The Gulch is this area right in the middle of Atlanta, sort of dark, dank, no man's land, under the roadway, an extremely difficult, intractable place to develop.
It's a $5 billion project.
It really is going to transform downtown Atlanta.
It was really ambitious. It just looked complicated.
To even start to build one thing, you'd have to invest $800 million.
You have to build these massive structures over active rail lines.
Will people, in fact, come to downtown Atlanta? Tony and his partners only get that money if they perform.
Atlanta, one of the most dynamic cultural engines in America. But as Metro Atlanta has boomed, its original downtown has been left behind until now.
It's called Centennial Yards. We're building 6 million square feet. It'll be 1 million square feet of retail, 5,000 apartments, 500,000 square foot entertainment district.
A lot of this is already being constructed in Atlanta. A lot of this is done. Indigo Hotel. Matter of fact, I want to go check that out this weekend. One of them is a client of my wife. But I like that. I like that. See, when we talk about finding property, finding deals, taking advantage of the real estate market and developing real estate market, that area, one of the areas that border onto that is English Avenue, Vine City, not too far from the Gulch. This is why I say we don't have to be deficit of money right now. We don't need the adjustments that take place in the White House, local municipality, taxes rising, insurance. That doesn't need to affect us. It doesn't need to affect us. Because if we live in the city and we see the need down there, all we got to do is arm ourselves with the knowledge to be able to take advantage of it. And that's why we put the school program together for your first real estate deal. And it's not designed for you to take advantage and be, flip a house, but we want you to flip some paper and get paid and pay your bills. That's really what it comes down to. Okay. And that area down there, so many freaking opportunities. I've seen people hold on for dear life to their property. And I've seen people just like, hey, you know what? Mama died. I ain't been there. Nobody going there. Sitting down. They got blight. Okay. Yeah. How much you going to give me for it? How much? And that's it. See, there's opportunity lying around us. We just have to be able to tap into it to take advantage of it. And you just need to know the steps in the process to make it happen. And that's why I give you those steps. Okay.
It's opening up just as the World Cup is coming here.
With billions on the line, a global deadline approaching, and decades of failure behind it, Centennial Yards is the biggest gamble Atlanta has made on its downtown in a generation.
I wish we were further along.
The clock is already ticking.
Tony, here we are, State Farm Arena, home of the Hawks. What's this all about?
The Atlanta community treats MLK weekend as something extraordinarily special. This is the home of Martin Luther King.
Now we live. I'm not gonna do this the whole one is 10 minutes, but I'm not gonna do this whole video. But I am gonna point out some very interesting things that Atlanta has going for it that I believe a lot of people are sleeping on, even though Atlanta's had an influx of people moving into the city already. Okay, and everybody's like, oh man, are these people coming in? I don't want everybody moving to Atlanta. But this is why the $5 billion in infrastructure rebuild for downtown is so necessary. Okay. And just to give you perspective, I'm familiar with the place because I sold the largest condo down there, 2-story condo down there, and it was like phenomenal, 1.9 billion. I love the sale. It was a phenomenal sale. This is when downtown was starting to actually build up. Yeah, Centennial Park. You can go check it out. Etched in stone. But there's something about that downtown area which the development has been really struggling. That Gulch is right across the street from Mercedes-Benz, from State Farm Arena, and it's just been sitting down there. But they've been really trying to move that project forward. And I low-key believe that a lot of the purchasing should be around that area. When that's done, and they've been saying it's coming. They've been saying it's coming. They've been saying it's coming. Now you're like, Leon, like, what do you really mean? Okay, so this is not the first time we got a bet for Atlanta for that, to build up that particular area. Okay, so reinvestment. We've had 2 investments. This is the second investment. Okay, first investment, $5 billion city-backed investment was pushed by Mayor Andre Dickinson, right, in place right now. And there was a private mega development. This is what we're talking about for Centennial Yards. Now, initially when we did that, the $5 million back investment by in 2025 focused on Southwest Atlanta. Neighborhoods have been historically neglected. That's why I say you got to go into these places, find these deals, make that extra money, because you're helping build the local community. And don't listen, wholesaling isn't designed to snatch every last bit of equity out of it. You make a little bit of money, you move on. A little bit of money, you move on. When you do that, and it's a win-win, and this is what I always believe in this space, everybody wins. They come back and do business with you, right? Where's the money going? Affordable housing, public safety, parks. That was the first run. Health structure, infrastructure upgrades, Vine City, Bankhead, Campbellton, Campbellton Road, West Side, East Side corridors. This was the funding. And how was it funded? They used tax allocation districts, basically future tax revenue funding current development. That's what they did, okay? Now, this move right here, $5 billion private redevelopment of the Gulch downtown, one of the largest projects in Atlanta history, 50 acres, mixed-use district. There's a lot of mixed-use districts in Atlanta right now. And that mixed use model, I was driving by one on University Avenue. You don't know where it is. That's pretty much where the old Braves Stadium used to be. Phenomenal build right there. I love it. Apartments, hotels, they're planning for retail, restaurant space, office space, entertainment venues, And you're like wondering, Lena, where are these people coming from? I told you, we have 60,000 people moving to Atlanta on a yearly basis. Even with the decline or the suffering or the issues that are going on economically, people are still moving here because we're number 4 when it comes to first-time buyers. And we're going to talk about where we stand with renters pretty soon. It's still cheap. It's still very inexpensive compared to the other major metropolitans. Why it matters? It turns the dead zone into a 24/7 downtown hub, and we got the 2026 World Cup Atlanta Olympics coming, World Cup coming to Atlanta, and it's going to push tourism. They're not going to have this done by the World Cup. They just hope to have most of this done by the World Cup. But it started around 2024, and it was fully built. The full build out they're expecting 2030, 2031. So you got time. You got a bunch of time. When I say a bunch of time, I mean you got a week. Okay, really, you got a week to get in and to learn how to make this money work down there and to help push the community. I truly believe when investing, because these guys are nothing but big investors. Think about it. They're big. They got big money. They can't buy a bunch of land and go, oh, we're going to build a bunch of houses. But we can develop the commercial portion. And when that's developed and it's mixed use, everything around there benefits from it. Everything. And you want to be in that place where you'll be able to benefit from it, right? This is a wealth plus energy magnet for downtown, but critics are saying heavy tax incentives are involved. Risk of just redistricting. Sorry for the fumbling words. Redistributing. That's versus creating new growth. I've always felt like a lot of these things they fight for. They want to keep the old Atlanta, which is great to do. Okay. But we have to give some type of incentive for these people to come down, and they got to hire locally. If Atlanta can control that, we can do great things in the city.
After the 1960s, white flight and suburbanization moved power and investment outward from downtown. And as Atlanta grew, the center of gravity started to shift.
Right after I got in Congress, we started building Highway 285, which circles the city.
You started seeing these other skylines begin to take shape.
My generation coming out of college in the mid-90s, like Atlanta was the place to be.
Atlanta influences everything, whether it's the hip-hop community or it's Tyler Perry Studios, Fortune 500 companies, or the Atlanta University Center.
By the 1990s, Atlanta was a city with a growing global footprint. Winning the 1996 Olympic Games was supposed to bring the world back to downtown.
The summer of '96, being on that Olympic team, playing in the old Georgia Dome, there was a lot of optimism for downtown Atlanta in terms of what the Olympics was going to bring. And I know there was disappointment that it didn't have that impact that everyone thought it could.
When the games ended, downtown failed to hold on to the Olympic momentum. Its many notable attractions and neighborhoods still disconnected from one another due to the massive 40-acre swath of abandoned.
Look at that. So Gulch is right here, Ben Stadium right there, State Farm right there, and then you'll actually see it. You can see State Farm from right here where the Gulch is. And go to the other side, you can see Mercedes-Benz. This is prime location. I sold the biggest penthouse right around there, Centennial Park Drive. Crazy. I love it. Man, I tell you, that mug had an elevator in it. You had the front and the back. We would go out there and watch fireworks on the 4th of July. Yeah, invite it. I helped them buy it, helped them sell it. Blah, blah, boom. So, yeah. So, phenomenal location. And I've always wondered why that area just stayed empty. I always wondered. Now, part of the reason the Gulch is like that, too, is you got railroad tracks that run back and forth underneath there, and they got to really build on top of the tracks. You're literally going to put things on stilts. And I don't think to do that, it costs a ton of freaking money, okay? But get yourself in a position, because I want you to think about this. There's going to be, which I've seen already condos getting hit. The condo market in Atlanta is gonna get hit, and don't take it personal, because with the inventory issues having to do with Atlanta, with the buyers in control, not everybody wants a condo. Condos and townhomes are normally the very first thing to take a hit in any type of market. So think about this. If you wanted to invest in a city, which I saw somebody do this, and this guy was from Kansas, and he bought what we were selling down there for the Centennial Park, but he bought it to be able to come back there, chill out in the penthouse, watch the game. His alma mater was UGA, University of Georgia. You can do the same thing. As these condo prices drop, it's going to create opportunities for people to buy these condos at lower discounted rates, because sellers got to sell and they got to move, right? All of that helps the development, whether you turn around and you rent it out or whether you keep it as a second place and you come down for all of the great things that we have in Atlanta, in the city. But I tell you, and I'm going to keep telling you over and over again, that if you start to invest, if you want to get into the city, all of this surrounding area is where you need to look out for. And more importantly, if you want to find out deals that are out here on the market, I got that free off-market Georgia property list already. You can subscribe to it as a free list. It goes out once a week. La-di-da-di, everybody, right? You'll be good to go. Let's go.
And undeveloped land.
When the baseball stadium left downtown, which happened just as we purchased the Atlanta Hawks, we had determined then that we thought downtown Atlanta could be a really remarkable transformation if done properly. We had an appreciation that there was this rather large parcel referred to as the Gulch. I guess for the prior 100 years, no one had figured out what to do with it.
The junction of railroads that gave downtown Atlanta its original purpose left an engineering puzzle that no developer had been able to solve.
You have to build up to get at street grid. We estimate that costs $400 million. Second is, in the hole, there's no infrastructure. No electricity, no water, no sewer. Maybe what? Another $300 million?
These railways are still running.
Yeah, this is an active rail line. That's an active rail line. The MARTA line runs through right there.
Does that complicate construction?
Extremely. So everything we build has to be on stilts, essentially 40 feet up to match that level of the viaducts.
Like I told you, and like I told you, on stilts. And we're not going to stay on this video too long, okay? But on stilts. This is the reason why it's been slow. You know, and I used to be the person that would say, in real estate, I would be impatient. I'm like, why isn't the deal closing? Why isn't this happening? They need to move faster. The attorney needs to get this done. The attorney needs to get that done. When I discovered that, I really understood that sometimes a lot of times, 99% of the times, these delays are good. You need these delays. No problem. You're like, Leon, I want to close. I need my money in my account. Chill out. Let it work itself out. The delay doesn't mean denial. Look, see, I'm giving you all the gems given to me by my mentors, right? The delay doesn't mean a denial. It doesn't mean a denial. It just means a delay. And that delay, like in this situation, is the best thing that can happen to new investors, people trying to get into the Atlanta market and try to get a hold of what's going on down here. Great opportunity. Don't turn your nose up on it. I know a lot of agents that have given up on the Gulch in that area. They're like, oh my gosh, there's nothing I can do. No, there is something you can do. There's a ton of little properties in that area, and they all need to be dealt with because they're falling apart, especially in English Avenue, right? Probably less than a mile away, falling apart. You think about it. You buy a place in English Avenue, even though, yeah, it's the hood. People say it's the hood. But what they don't understand, right there, the development that happens with the Gulch is going to spread out all that to Vine City. And I know investors that will not. They've been holding on to their deals. They've been holding on to their properties, even though it's been sitting vacant, simply because they know when this development is done in 2030, 2031, it's going to cause the prices to skyrocket in that area. That's it took he said $700 million just to build the infrastructure. Just to build it. It will surpass anything we have on the north end of the city. And if you're not aware, the north end of the city has some of the best live-work communities that have been built over the last 10 years in Atlanta. This is going to beat it hands down.
When Tony came in, he saw that and he asked what it is when he was coming in to do due diligence to buy the team, and explained to him about the railroad and viaducts. And he said, we're going to build LA Live there. And I'm like, sure you are.
Early on, Tony Ressler was made aware of that if it was a really inclusive project that underscored the unique diversity of this city, he stood a chance to be successful. One of Tony's big partners on this deal is also his partner in the Atlanta Hawks, and that's the legendary Grant Hill.
Been in professional sports my entire life, and to now sort of be a steward of a franchise in a sense and have this responsibility, it's important.
Grant played a role in helping Tony assemble this all-star team of investors. It's everyone from Arthur Blank, who owns the Falcons, to 2 Chainz, the famous local rapper.
The Russell family, to John Bryant, to Usher, to Shaq, to Ambassador Andrew Young.
Tony Ressler's a people person. There's nobody that doesn't love him and believe in him.
And then Tony happens to have a brother named Richard Ressler, who's the chairman and founder of CIM Group.
Our friends at CIM, they had successful developments in Los Angeles, Miami, Denver, that took really large, complicated downtown developments. For this to be successful, it wasn't going to be small.
Ressler and the CIM Group would need to convince the city of Atlanta to contribute billions of dollars for Centennial Yards to become a reality.
We came together, negotiated a deal. They said, we will put in the initial investments, so no money from the city. We said we would issue bonds.
I have to admit, we had support and opposition.
Those who oppose the deal are concerned about the use of tax dollars and how the project will affect affordable housing.
I agree with them with the affordable housing portion. It seems like when they build these things, when they build these things, they build them and it seems like it prices out everybody. One thing that Atlanta has done, which makes it, I think I applaud it. I really love it. They've given incentives to the people that are like older and they've lived down there, call them old school Atlanta, to keep their houses, to keep the taxes lower. And I believe, and we should all push for this. This is why when we put these people in office, whether you're talking about downtown Ohio or whether you're talking about downtown Atlanta, it doesn't matter. Downtown Ohio. Akron, Ohio, downtown Ohio, like there's a downtown to the state. Akron, whether you're talking about Akron or whether you're talking about Atlanta, it doesn't matter. We got to incentivize the old school Atlanta, the people that have been there for years, to be able to stay there. Now you're wondering, Leon, you said buy these deals and they're overflowing. Yeah, I work with people that old school Atlanta. Not everybody wants to stay. Some people want to sell, and you can be a good vehicle to help them sell when they want to sell. But some people want to stay, and they got to get it right because the tax incentives they give them will benefit the investor that buys also and flips the property down there or buys and rents the property. See, we can take care of the affordable housing issue locally. We don't need the government nationally to do anything great. We just need the right people. We just need the people that we voted into office to use common sense and incentivize these people to be able to stay. See, I like when I buy a place or when I'm looking to buy a place, I love it when I see the residents that are there and they've been there for years. That tells me when someone moves in, they're moving into a cohesive, well-established environment, whether they're going to rent the place, they're incentivized to stay longer. You don't have a bunch of riffraff. You have people who love and take care of their place, or they're incentivized to buy. They want to buy somewhere established, and you get the whole Atlanta old school feel, you know?
Housing is probably the biggest challenge that we have as a city. So when this huge transaction was before me, I had this whole wish list. I said, I want an affordable housing trust fund, equity ownership for minority participation, and the list went on. There was an in lieu of contribution that they would have to make if they didn't hit certain numbers towards affordable housing. And they didn't hit those numbers, and they had to write a very big check for it. that allowed us to create this $28 million affordable housing trust fund. And we got it done.
A Fulton County judge upheld the city's issuance of the bonds, and Centennial Yards could finally move forward.
We think at the end there's going to be upwards of 10,000 jobs that are going to be created. We take on no risk, we put no initial dollars, and yet together we're going to build the tax base, property tax and sales tax. If they do not generate the taxes, there's nothing for them to pay themselves back.
Construction began in 2021 and completion is years away. But another global deadline is much closer, the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
And to give you insight, that same tax, these tax incentivized programs that they give to the builders that happen, if we look at Atlantic Station, that's 10 years. How long has Atlantic Station been around here? Probably about 10, a little bit longer, right? A little bit longer. But it was built on that same tax incentive program, okay? Ponce City Market, if you get a chance, you don't know anything about that. That's one of the oldest railroad station marks in Atlanta. Historic Atlanta, was a railroad station hub. That's what made Atlanta what it was. It wasn't because it was the capital, and it's not the capital of Georgia. That's the thing. But it was the main connecting part for all of these railroad hubs. And so doing what she said with the tax incentive, it will help, and it should bring in the tax dollars. So they can do it. They can do it.
Damn, I wish we were further along.
Yeah,
we're going to have some things built.
It's just been a lot of political. It's the same thing what Trump was talking about, and he was right in this aspect. There are a lot of loopholes. There are not loopholes. Red tape that's holding back a lot of these projects from moving forward. These guys, they're going to give the money to the city. That $28 million that Lance Bottoms was talking about, they collected it. They know how to actually put it together. I'm going to tell you what makes Atlanta so unique. Atlanta is one of those very few places where the business people and the politicians actually work together for the city to go. I didn't realize how great that was until I was able to witness how great it was. But when you bring the politicians together, when you bring the business people together, you typically in Atlanta will find African Americans in those political offices. But they work with the businessmen, whether they're black, white, it doesn't matter. They work with them. And that ability has made Atlanta grow to be, like I said, the number 4th place right now, city right now for first-time home buyers. This all adds to the wealth of the city, incentivize people to move to the city, move into some of these areas, which are beautiful.
We're going to absolutely be able to showcase what we're building. We have about 6 separate developments going on simultaneously. Here we're going to have a 5,300-seat Live Nation concert hall. Cosm.
Here's the home of the Hawks, right?
And you're literally across the street from State Farm Arena. Behind us is Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Access right across the street to this entire establishment.
I just think in the world we're in now, we need to connect. We need to see we have more in common than not. I see that all the time in our arena. Having that downtown, having sports, having entertainment, all of that is so important. It's time for people to come together.
The biggest challenge will be to make sure that all of our communities get to be a part of it. That it's not this place that people are outside the glass looking in.
Tony Ressler, he's like Hank Aaron, came here when we needed a winner. Hopefully it will become the axle around which the city will spin. We got a vision of the city of the future.
And Atlanta is becoming the city of the future. Whether Charlotte does what it does, I'm not even concerned with that. This place is very unique. And bottom line, what it comes down to is you got to follow the path for forced improvement, okay? Because when you follow that path, that's when you find the deals. That's when you find the fix and flips. That's when you find the buy and holds. That's where you find heavy appreciation. And that's where real estate really becomes fun, you know? You're part of something that's developing, that's new, that's growing, and you follow the path of capital concentration, you'll see developers, okay? And appreciation, like I said earlier. So all of these are the reasons why and why you need to go to the school community when this drops and become get into my first get a real estate lunchbox in the school community and get your first real estate deal done and make some capital, learn some skills, because when how AI is changing things, I heard something that was very interesting. And let me take this off the screen real quick. I heard something that was very, very interesting. And the way it was described, it made so much sense to me. So much sense to me. AI is not going to turn around and replace you or remove you from what you do. AI isn't going to do that. AI is going to take your skills, whether you go to college and you learned how to, let's not even say that. Let's say whether you went and became a barber, right? That's a skill. That's a talent. Some barbers are not created equal. Some barbers are made equal. Shout out to Barbers I Trust, one of the best barbershops in Dallas, Georgia. Not just in Dallas, in Atlanta metropolitan area. Some of the best dudes down there cutting hair. When you get your skills together and you plug AI in, AI becomes an extension of that ability. But when AI produces what it produces, you still have to now be able to turn around and say, oh, AI gave me this output. I asked it to create this, and it gave it back to me. And I should be able to look at what it created, look at it and say, do we have any hallucinations? This is when it brings wrong information out. What iterations do I need to make? Iterations are just changes that you need to make in order for it to produce the output that you want. Whether it's a manual, whether it's a guide, whether it's a book, whether it's a movie, it doesn't matter. If you know what it should be talking about or speaking about or doing, then when it produces what it brings to you, you're able now to say, oh, this is wrong. We need to make some changes here. But when people don't have the skills, like a barber has that skill, and you say, AI, I need you to do a video where you do a fade and da-da-da-da, so people can see what a fade looks like. I'm not about to do all these videos, but you can do one with AI. This is a hint to all the barbers out there. Teaching course. You got to know how to tell it, no, I want you to show them to do the fade like this. Because it'll do a fade. But everybody know, all right? Not all fades are created equal, damn.
Oh, no.
But, yo, this is the Real Estate Lunchbox, merging culture and real estate together. I appreciate you guys taking the time to check it out. And please, hey, like, subscribe, follow for more content. I dropped a poll in there, too. If you can jump onto that poll, let me know. What do you think? What do you think about wholesaling real estate? What do you think about that? I feel is the lowest barrier to enter into the space of real estate, and it will get you hooked on it, and you just have to know when to come off of that high and transition to flipping. Well, I know some guys right now, they trade stock and they wholesale, and they got a 9 to 5 and make good money doing it. Extra cash on the side. Like, subscribe, follow for more content. I will see you guys on the next video. I reached my hour for the day. Go back to work. Go do your thing. Remember, God loves you. You're perfect just the way that you are. Forget about what these people got to say. They hating on you anyway. Jesus already gave you the goods. Peace.